So today we're going to be running through my top 5 players that I've been playing with across this account. We've now gone through quite a few. We have got a set list. This is the current team that I'm rocking. I like the 4-4-2. We're getting Ferland Mendy upgraded. Obviously Traore's now in here. We've got Rashford as an evolution and the beautiful purple Virgil, which is just fantastic. So let's jump into my top 5 per position. We've got goalkeepers, fullbacks, centre-backs. We've then got midfields combined and we've got a little bit extra. We've got left wing, right wing, and then we've also got the strikers. If you need coins in FC25, lootbar.gg has you covered. They are the cheapest trading platform on the game, 8 to 10% cheaper than any others, 8% off if you use the code JT11 at the end at checkout, plus you get 5% extra on coins. With the fastest delivery system going, used by many FC25 creators such as Zorky, Manny Plus, and even Pro owners. So if you need any coins, head over to lootbar.gg, make sure JT11's in the promo code, and hopefully you enjoy. So when it comes to goalkeepers, to be honest, there is a very vast opinion on who is the best. And to be honest, you could argue all of them. It's not like strikers, defenders, like we know Virgil van Dijk is always going to be the best gold centre-back you can physically get. And I don't think anybody can kind of change that. Whereas goalkeepers, there's a lot of people that prefer Ederson, there's a lot of Alisson, there's a lot of Courtois. This year we've kind of used the main 5 already. Ederson we got rid of mainly because we got Courtois untradeable. Now Courtois has definitely been the standout keeper in my opinion. He's normally one of the best in every year. And I think then you could go as far to say Alisson, Ederson are as good personally. Donnarumma, Ter Stegen we gave a little bit of a go. Now they've kind of just turned into fodder. We've managed to get both of them completely untradeable, just back in the club again. Both of them still very good, don't get me wrong. Donnarumma is normally a fantastic second keeper. At 6'5", he normally has the business between the sticks. Alisson, personally for me, could go up here now if the long ball pass for Ederson is completely patched, but that was absolutely broken to start with. So that's why I really wanted to try him out. Obviously all the other goalkeepers had goalkeeper playstyle pluses, whereas Ederson had the long ball plus, and we know full well how effective that can be used in a very mechanical way. Now in terms of left backs, we've got the 5. We've got Alphonso Davies now coming in relatively cheap. He's kind of just become a person in the club now more than anything. We've got rid of the one we've actually used. And to be honest, at the start, if you're looking at a Bundesliga team, not terrible for it. It's one of the better Bundesliga left backs you can get, if not the best. Obviously, pace is a very big orientated side to him, and the role plus is going to be wing back. That's again going to be a big factor on what you go with cards, because I personally like fullback, and that's kind of where I normally go with them. Sometimes I do like them attacking, but it's very rare because it's not personally how I play. I like to have a back 4 and I like the left back, right back to relatively stay there. I'll then push with my wingers, my strikers, and then a 1 midfielder, and I make that 5 on the attack, 5 on the back. So it kind of works in that sort of pattern. We then have Ndogi, who I think is absolutely fantastic this year. Very cheap, very affordable Prem left back. He has been unbelievable as a starting left back again. I think, yeah, I was going to say this one's probably not the one I've used. He was the very first left back we got because he's 82 Prem, so he had some links as well. He was always a first one that you would easily go to. We then have Sakina. This one is the one I actually played with as well. She kind of took over Ndogi as kind of them French links. When I was looking at Conte, was looking at Diaby, Coman. I think I had Griezmann up front. So there was quite a few different French players from different leagues as well that we needed to try and get some links. And Sakina was unbelievable. She was absolutely fantastic in that role. She does the fullback role perfectly. She's quite quick on the ball. She's great at tackling. She was one of the better ones that we have used. But then we did get Capdevia. Now he's one of my favourite all-time left backs in terms of general on FIFA, and then also in the new kind of games we've got now with the base heroes. The only thing is I really wish he got an upgrade sooner. It is a shame that we've already got probably the best left back you can get at this point for the price that you can get him at, because unfortunately he is going to miss out to Mendy. Mendy is just crazy again. There's just no words for him. He's obviously a 4-star, 5-star in comparison to the free that Capdevia has, and he absolutely works it. He is fullback for me. I don't think, as I said, I don't think any of them have the fullback plus, which is a bit unfortunate, but it still works. It's not necessarily that he's not very good at the fullback role, it's just he doesn't have the plus in the role, which is absolutely fine. Obviously with Mendy, in everything is just incredible with him. We've got him in the evolution as well, just to get that passing and dribbling a bit more, and I think it was quite an easy option out of the 5 to pick Mendy. Now we have got the right backs in Pedro Porro coming in at number 5. Again, with right backs and left backs, there's not really a need necessarily for too many. So it was kind of hard to go through the 5 that we've used a lot. Like Pedro Porro was the first hour, give or take, because straight after we got him, like he's a standard right back. We've lost connection, which is fantastic, and he will get the job done. But when it comes to it, Loriente was the kind of number 1 replacement for him. He was absolutely fantastic. We used him all of last year. We got him into the 85 evolution. I think stupidly we used him into like team of the year. It was absolutely crazy. And this year, again, he can still play many roles, which is always nice. Unfortunately, only has the plus roles as a right mid, but he still did the job for very early on. We then got Frimpong, who now is most definitely cheap. We've obviously got rid of the one we played with because it really isn't worth that much anymore. Now, he does have a bigger upgrade that we haven't used, so that is kind of a fair enough. I'd be interested to try his 88, I want to say it was. But this version's still very good. I would kind of go with over Loriente just because he does have some right back capabilities that are a little bit better. But realistically, he's kind of more of a wing back as well, which would lead me to believe to kind of change Loriente over a little bit. Frimpong for me in this year is just a very heavy reliant on the name. Then we have got the Trent Loney. So we had him for 20 games. I really wanted to give him a go just because he can play that CDM role now, which is a bit different for him. He also has obviously the plus on the full spec. It's kind of almost not invented after him, but he plays it perfectly. He's got the whipped pass, which has not been as vital this year for me, but in terms of stats all around, was absolutely fantastic. But there is only one position that I would say that does, or one player in fact, that deserves that number 1 spot, and that's Kyle Walker. He cost me 61,000 at the very start of the game. 94 games later, he's been absolutely brilliant. He's a standard right back. He does the job. Want the Playstyle Plus if we can. He will get an upgrade at some point, but he is phenomenal. Him and Mendy as the 2 fullbacks have been life-changing. Now into centre-backs. Now, one, Van der Ven, we got him very early on. I think I have packed him, but I bought him to try a review on him because there was a lot of hype. And I was very interested because an 82 rated centre-back, and meant to be a centre-back as well. It's not like Furlan Mendy can play in centre-back and he can be he is more of a left-back. This is an out-and-out centre-back with decent defensive and physical capabilities, but then 88 on that pace. This card is an absolute freak of nature. It's unbelievable. The 84 inform is fantastic as well. It's just another hyped up version, even more so of this card, which is perfect, and now has an evolution for passing and also dribbling. He is just a cracking centre-back. He is well worthy of this top 5 we've gone in. And to be honest, it's only because I've used pretty much, I would say, the best kind of 5 centre-backs in the game that he's even making just a 5. Realistically, for a lot of teams, he should be in that top 2, top 3, if you haven't used my 2 tops. And you'll see why in a second. Going next to him, I will say Militao is unbelievable as well. It is a close debate, to be honest. I think you could very much argue between the 2, but because we used Militao for a little bit longer, obviously with Van der Ven, he was a review, so I've got 5 games with him, bar from maybe packing him again. I don't know if I played any without selling him straight away, but Militao I've played a few more games with, and in terms of a whole defensive package, he is up there. Like, he's still got 85 pace himself, more defending, more physical, and then I think what we got passing and dribbling. So passing's better, But like we said with Van de Ven, he can go into the evolution as well to get more, which is just even better. As you saw then, we have got Rudiger as well as my number 3. Incredible centre-back. I personally like them on the defender plus role, which is absolutely perfect for Rudiger. He's a bully, he's brilliant, and he's absolutely dangerous in the air, which is what I like. But my top 2 is quite an easy one. We have got Mr. Saliba and also Virgil van Dijk. It's quite an easy pairing. We have just managed to get them both untradeable, like as you can see, literally yesterday for Saliba. But we did play them. We bought both of them because I was like, if I'm playing champs, I've got to have a top-end centre-back, like 2 of them at the least. So we bought Virgil for like 330 and Saliba for 220, and then we've managed to get both of them untradeable, untradeable in general. And then obviously Virgil van Dijk's gone into the cosmetic as well. But they are incredible together. They're personally my favourite pairing at the moment. Other than maybe kind of like icons, I would say these are the only 2 that you'd personally need. Now, mid is quite a hard one because I've very rarely changed my standard midfielder without necessarily doing reviews or going into drafts or maybe changing the team for an objective. So we've got a very standard midfield. So we're going to run through, because I play the 4-4-2. I started the first champs with a 5 at the back to try, because I was getting absolutely pounded. Every game, it was 3-0. My defense couldn't do anything. I was like, I've got to try something, and it seemed to be that 5 at the back was the way to go. Now, I got halfway through champs, and it was still happening. So clearly, it was my fault more so than anything. We built a team, we got the best, and it kind of settled me a little bit more. Kind of fast forward 2 weeks, much better. We've got a settled midfield. We're doing a lot better. But when we look through the list, I've kind of gone for the balance of cams, centre mids, and CDMs that I've used. Rodri being at the back, by no means is this a reflection on himself. This is just personal, my opinion. I think with a tiki-taka, it's nice, but I like faster midfielders. I think Conte's only just one ahead of him in terms of a CDM because of the intercept. That was an absolute wonderful one. And also to add, when I used Conte, was on literally the first 3-4 days of the game. So there is going to be very little opponents that have got a Bellingham, a Tonali, a Putellas, a Patry, a Bonmati. It was very much standard midfields at that point. A lot of evolutions, a lot of 82s. So it's kind of a difference? I don't know. I'm playing against better teams is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be all fancy. But Palmer, another one. Now, it's kind of hard because I kind of see where I'm going here. And I'm going one more up. I did like Palmer. I thought he was a relatively decent card for what he's worth. You're looking at, 70k, I think, still for the SBC. At the minimum, I'd do him just to have him in the club, to be honest. Dead ball plus, adds a bit of flair to your team. Could potentially see an evolutions later on down the line. I can imagine he will get a better card as well. But Wirtz would be kind of the one that I'd say challenges him slightly, because obviously with this one, he's got the incisive plus. Now, that's going to be a very nice stat to have, but I would say both of them are on that same sort of level that I would need a solid DM next to them. At this point, Tonali and Bellingham are my 2 midfielders. Now, this is the hard part because I absolutely love Bonmati and Patry. Bonmati was kind of the first big card that we packed. She played quite a few games, and then literally after that champs finished, we got Bellingham. Now, the problem I've got in the midfield and with the team in general, I really want Patry over Tonali. We bring her on. Obviously, the long ball plus has kind of been a little bit reduced, but it still is very good to get down the wings, and it's a nice option to get out of the midfield whenever I'm feeling in struggle, but I can't link her. And Bellingham outweighs Bonmati in my opinion. Bellingham is absolutely unbelievable. Bonmati is fantastic, and maybe if it was Putellas, Bonmati and Patry, maybe we have to go for that. But I think for the moment, Tonali and Bellingham together have been absolutely wonderful. But I would say CDM-wise, Tonali's been one of my favourites. So on to the right-hand side, we got very lucky on the first week and did manage to pack Yamal. Now, he was a person that I wasn't expecting too much from, because naturally, he's got a lot of hype. In real life, he's fantastic. He's a phenomenal footballer for, what, was he 18 or something like that, 19, whatever he is. Unbelievable amount of talent. In the game, he's got to have some time. We're only on 84. I know he's got a player of the month. And again, no playstyle plus yet. You've got stats that are decent, a 4-star, 3-star. He needs a little bit more time. I can imagine I don't know if we've ever seen him in a future star. This is the first time he's been on the game, I'm pretty sure. If so, more than likely we see him as a future star. Whatever rating that is, that could potentially be the highest rated future star we've got if he's already a player of the month at 86. Could be an interesting one. We move up to Rafinha. Very little in it, to be honest. I think mainly the one thing with Rafinha is the 4-star for him. I do think stats-wise, you've obviously got more pace on him, but shooting is 1 less, passing's 3 less, and then dribbling is pretty much the same with a bit more agility on Yamal, whereas Rafinha does have the composure. It's a bit more of a mature head, somebody who's been in the game a little bit longer. That's kind of where I see with Rafinha, but he most definitely is not in the top spots, and maybe a bit more of a mechanical player. Diaby's unbelievable with a quick step. They did take away the speed boost, but you can still utilize the quick step and it still has that same sort of generational power where you just absolutely blitz a centre back or a right back, left back if you get it timed right. Now, it's not the left stick boost was just broken in itself. Now the quick step is being utilized properly. Now, it's not a player that's going to do the whole package. He is going to do that one trick pony. So I normally bring him on kind of like end of the game, 60th minute, 70th minute once my main player's done. And then obviously they can just add that sort of fuel to it. He's already kind of worked the left back. Yeah, it would be left back for him because Traore is my right mid at the minute. And very similar, rapid plus, quick step plus, they are absolutely dangerous to go against. You've got 295 pace right mids with a sprinting play style plus, and both of them are very similar in the sense they don't have a final finish. Like they just don't. That's the whole point of them. They're quick. They are literally rapid. So getting past the byline and then like kind of like punting it in is going to be their specialty, and it works to an absolute T, unless you got someone who's very smart at it or actually subs out the left back once in a while. So both of them very good, and then obviously Rodrigo's there. We did buy him just to give him a try because I was like, well, Rafinha was like 80, 90k, and Rodrigo was coming in at that point at a few hundred, and I was like, well, he doesn't look like crazy better, to be honest. Like, he's coming in now at 77k, and he was fantastic. The 4-star is much better. Pace is still at a good level. You've obviously got a bit of shooting, passing, dribbling's fantastic. He just overall felt just a little bit more complete as a midfielder. But if you are looking for the one-trick pony, Adama and Diaby, never to sniff your nose up at. Then we go into the left wing. This one is quite an easy one to run through because we've very rarely changed. We went from like a Coman Rapid Plus, like we said, with all the French players. We had a little try with Kvaratskhelia, especially when his Player of the Month came out. We wanted to give him a go to see, was he truly worth it? Honestly, it was just a very good dribbler. Didn't really find that much worth in him. Like, to be honest, I'd probably go for the one-trick pony of Coman over him. But then we did get our kind of left mids through and through. St. Max was obviously an easy one. The SBC can get an upgrade, was like 120, 130k. Had to do him. He's a 5-star, 4-star as well. He has the technical plus, which I don't use anyway. But he was very good for the time that he did come out. We then got insanely lucky and managed to pack Garnacho. Only for the club as well. If we do manage to get the double upgrade, even better. I'd take a 90 Garnacho. But in general, just fantastic for the club. Little bit of an upgrade over St. Max in stats. But then we've kind of hit gold with Rashford. He's been absolutely crazy. Now, I'd love a weak foot upgrade from him to make him into that 5-4. The power shot plus is absolutely broken as well. So that is another reason for it. But in general, it's nice to have a good Rashford at the start of the game. Which then leads us into our strikers. Now, we've kind of gone across the theme here. We've only just got rid of Haaland, which is just nuts, because he felt a bit blocky. Now, running from the start of the game, we mainly went with these two. Danjuma and Nunez, incredible starting strikers. Nunez is probably, for anybody that's starting the game without buying points, without really going crazy, he's probably the most efficient striker, the most efficient and effective striker you can buy for coins. He's quick, he's big, he obviously gets shots off, and if you're in the lower divisions, if you're just starting FC and you're like Division 10, 9, 8 now, and I'm thinking right now, you could get away with him. He is truly such a good starting striker, and for the past 3 years, I believe he was at Liverpool 2-3 years ago as well, he was unbelievable. Whereas Danjuma, he's nice. I like him. I think Tarum is kind of better in my opinion. We've only really kind of gone with Danjuma, to be honest, because once we got, like I said, to the first weekend, we just went straight for the kind of the big guns. We went for Griezmann and Haaland. We've used Ronaldo in a couple of versions of him. We've used the gold card in an objective. Couldn't get my words out there. Power Shot Plus obviously is broken, so obviously we've tried that. We did then go and use his 89 in draft. Oh, what a card. I didn't think it'd be right to put him in because the 89, we used him for, 3 games of draft, and then we lost the final match. But him in general was just absolutely class, as you'd expect for a couple of million coin card. But Ronaldo in himself is very good with that power shot bug. But the main two for me are going to be Griezmann and also Son. Now, obviously, Griezmann we did pay for. I did pay for Son, and then we managed to get him untradeable with Saliba. So we managed to get 2 tradable cards out of the club and swap them with untradeable, which is fantastic because Son is still coming in at an absolute price. Now, we said finesse shot is slightly broken still. You've got 330 on him, and I don't even know what Griezmann is now. You're looking at 110. We bought him at 95. I'll absolutely take it. So incredible strikers that you can get for starting. And then obviously we are looking up for the kind of Mbappe. We're looking for the top end players to finish off this squad. So let me know down below who you've used. Have you got any cheap beasts? Have you got any evolutions that I've not said? Let me know down below. Peace.